You're listening to Josh and Phil's Knowledge Club. Let's climb aboard the train of thought. Crime and punishment, law and order, DL and Pasco. As much as we try to weed it out, crime just keeps bouncing back, like a mixed metaphor. Crime is everywhere. Just look out of your window and you're likely to see examples of careless driving, incest, or fly tipping. As the world becomes ever more complex and nuanced, it's often difficult to know what constitutes a crime. Is it illegal, for example, to beat a sparrow to death with a golf club? We may never know. But human nature being what it is, the justice system is vital for our protection. Who among us wouldn't steal our neighbour's patio furniture unless there was a potential consequence, or it had gone rusty? So join us as we dig deep into the criminal underbelly, examine its murky guts, and chat.
Josh, once again, thank you for being with us.
Pleasure, Phil. Absolute pleasure.
And thanks to the University of East Coventry, with whom we're in partnership on this podcast. They've very kindly allowed us to use their premises to record, actually in the reception area.
Works for me. Nearest part of the university to the entrance, isn't it? So we're straight in it.
Literally the nearest, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you don't really messing around with keys in and out of recording studios. You just want to get in, you want to do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we're in fact we weren't allowed to go any further on this occasion, but we've got everything we need here. We've got chairs, shelter.
Yeah, there's some potted plants. Phil, before we go any further,
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about this podcast.
Good.
I've come up with a jingle.
Really?
Yeah, I think we can both do it. Shall I take it away? If you like a lot of knowledge on your podcast, join our club. Yeah, I thought we could kind of harmonise on that.
Well, what I'll do is I'll go away and record the harmony parts and add them in later. So.
Okay, so you've got my bit down there.
Yeah, that's very much recorded. Yeah, thanks, Josh. So we're here to talk about crime. Crime is a controversial subject that often can lead into very dark areas. But there is a certain glamour about the crime world that's undeniable. TV crime dramas and films, video games, they're all very popular. What do you think it is that captures the public's imagination about all that?
I think it's cathartic, Phil. A lot of us now lead very dull lives. So to pop on a kind of a high drama TV series or film, it makes us feel alive for a second, you know. And I bet if you ask most serial killers what they watch on TV, I bet it's just kind of dead, kind of easy watching, just banal things, you know, because they're getting their buzz from the actual killing they're doing.
The real life.
Yeah, so then they just want to get in, they probably just want to watch Storage Wars or something. My favourite TV drama at the moment, kind of crime drama series, is something called Crime Watch. It's in this basically, it's really good. It's like kind of like fictional, really specific crimes.
Yeah.
And the kind of like they show what happened, and they do kind of this fake appeal for information from the public. It's really good, dead realistic, really authentic. Once I saw a guy on there, and I swear I know him. I know his name and everything. Really good, really good. Something I can really relate to.
Some people might point out that that's not really a drama as such, more of a factual program.
They're kind of like the Holocaust in eyes, aren't they? People that think Coronation Street's real. Grow up.
So have you actually ever committed a crime?
In the interest of openness and honesty, yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have, Phil.
It's good of you to come forward.
Yeah, no, it's something that I've been kind of mulling over in my mind for many years. I stole some pick and mix from Woolworths, rest in peace. I was in there, the opportunity arose, and I just, you know...
That's a minor thing, though. A lot of people have done it.
I know, but I was just kind of in there, Phil, and it just kind of came up, and I just snatched the bag out of the girl's hand and just sprinted for the door.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't take that back. I mean, I could have took it back, but there's a load of those cola cubes in there, and I really like those.
The Cray twins were twin brothers notorious in the criminal world for being criminals. Both born in 1933, Reggie Cray was 10 minutes older than Ronnie Cray, and in those 10 minutes, Reggie had already managed to do over a Sainsbury's. They were finally imprisoned for the murder of Jack the Hat McVitie, heir to a biscuit empire and inventor of the hat. The craze later inspired J.K. Rowling to create the character of Lord Voldemort, as neither brother had a nose. How did they smell, you ask? Impeccably. Both used liberal amounts of Old Spice aftershave.
Alright, so let's delve a little bit deeper then. Just as a thought experiment, describe the perfect crime.
Perfect crime, 5'5", blonde, powerful thighs. She's broke into my house, made me have full sex with her. She's got me on a lead, walking around the living room like a dog, barking like a pit bull. Police burst in, she gets arrested under the Dangerous Dogs Act. That's a perfect crime for me. That or arson, it sounds funny. It sounds like you're saying arse, doesn't it?
So let's flip it then.
What, she's on the lead and I'm walking here around the living room?
No. Let's say that you're a detective.
Yeah, okay.
You like that, do you? You can
Yeah,
imagine that?
I think I'd be a good detective.
Okay, so what would be the first thing that you'd look for at the scene of a crime?
What I'd look for first and foremost, has a crime been committed? If the answer's yes, then I'll be tempted to look into it further, get to the bottom of it. If the answer's no, stop wasting my time.
Yeah.
We'll say, for the sake of this, a crime has been committed.
Yeah.
So then I'm looking for evidence. Has the killer left a calling card? Maybe they're a carpet fitter who rolls their victims up in underlay. Maybe they're an estate agent, in which case I'd check the third bedroom / box room / study, depending on what you wanted to do with the space. Ideal scenario, I'd find a passport or driving licence, because that really narrows it down to a much smaller pool of suspects.
Yeah, so photo ID.
Photo ID, that's what, in an ideal world, that's what I'll be looking for.
Yeah.
Because I'm a detective, you see.
Yeah.
I'm have to spot those things. And once I've got that, we'll go from there.
So let's say you had a suspect and you were interrogating them.
Yeah.
Okay. So how far would you go?
Full sex. No question about it.
No, what I mean is, in order to extract information from them, what tactics would you use?
Oh, okay. I'd do what needed to be done. Have you seen the film The Railway Man?
Yeah.
With Colin Firth? He was in it.
Yeah. Not did I see it with him, yeah.
What they do in that, they kind of waterboard until the talk and give information, kind of a way of torturing them. Waterboarding, I don't think it's that bad. Water's quite nice and it's quite a neutral taste.
Yeah.
You tried that Robinson's Fruit and Barley? Oh, it tastes like piss, Phil.
Bad, is it?
Disgusting, yeah. I'd use that. I'd just be piping that into the mouths. Disgusting stuff. They'd soon talk, let me tell you that.
The word mobster is nearly 200 years older than the word gangster. The word lobster is older than either of them, and of the three, remains the most popular main course. Organised crime is said to cost the UK £40 billion per year, as organised criminals claim back for filofaxes and desk tidies.
Can you sympathise with vigilantes? And is it something that you'd consider if the justice system failed you in some way?
No, absolutely not. We live in a democracy. It's not the Wild West out there. And if it was, I'll be the first person wearing chaps. Because those things are comfortable and I'll look good in them. But no, I'd say always involve the police. Every opportunity, even if it might seem like a minor quibble. Your fence might have blown into next door's garden. Who picks that up? Who sorts it out? Phone 999. Get on the blower. That's what they're there for. You seen the film Outlaw with Sean Bean? I don't mean did you watch it with Sean Bean, he's in it.
In the cast, yeah.
Yeah. Dreadful film. Awful film. Leave it to the professionals. Have you seen The Professionals?
Yes.
Is Sean Bean in that?
I don't think he is now, I think that was before his time.
He's good then, he's Sean Bean. He's in a lot of good stuff. I really like him. He should be getting more leading roles. That's a real crime.
For someone to be a serial killer, they must commit 3 or more murders over a period of more than a month, with a cooling off period between each one. This rule is similar to the one about coach drivers having to take 15-minute breaks after 4 hours on the road, and arguably just as important for our safety. Al Capone was known for providing milk to school children during the Great Depression, making him a sort of anti-Thatcher. Other notable differences from Lady Thatcher include his gender, nationality, and murders.
The most prolific serial killer of all time, actually, is the UK's own Dr. Harold Shipman. Now, does this give you a sense of national pride at all?
Gosh, no. Absolutely not. And I'm going to put this on record now. I think that guy should be struck off. There's no place for that kind of behaviour in the medical profession. Absolutely not. He's ruined it for anyone called Shipman. They can never be a doctor now. You'd never see a doctor called Dr. Shipman, would you? You'd never go.
Yeah, they're the real victims.
Absolutely. My mum was supposed to have she had an operation. The consultant sent a letter. The consultant's name was Dr. Fox. I binned it before she even saw it. She's not going to take that guy seriously, is she? He's there inspecting a colon, and all she's thinking is, I wonder if they're doing another series of Pop Stars Arrivals.
Is she okay now?
Yeah, she's on the mend, Phil. Yeah, she's. I'll tell you said, actually. I'll tell you asked.
Well, I could go around myself.
I can pass a card on, that's no problem if you want to give me a card and then...
Well, I think, the personal touch is better. If I was actually physically to go around there.
Well, just give it to me. We'll sort it after, but I'm happy to pass
Laid up in bed, is she?
She's in bed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in bed.
She got a bit of a temperature?
She has got a temperature, yeah.
Yeah, because you get a bit of a temperature in your ear, so she probably has to take a few layers off, or...
We'll sort this after, but just... I'm happy to pass on a card. That's
I'm happy to take it and personally deliver it by hand.
Dr. Harold Shipman was convicted for 15 murders, with a further 235 suspicious deaths attributed to him. Most were old women, who, if they'd survived, could have lived to be even older. His preferred method was a lethal cocktail of morphine, although patients grew suspicious when they saw his cocktail shaker, so he switched to syringes, which were much more accessible to him in his chosen profession of murderous doctor.
There's some things, though, that are illegal now that didn't even exist 50 years ago. Crime just keeps moving on.
On the flip side of that, though, there's crimes that have kind of disappeared. Things that were illegal years and years ago, you don't see them now. You never turn on the TV and see that somebody's stole a Shire horse. Doesn't happen. No, so it's positive. There's positives as well.
But if you take something like people downloading copyrighted material, so films, music, there's some people would argue that they're not really criminals, but then the artists aren't getting paid for their work, etc. It's a moral grey area. Where do you stand on that?
I think it's a crime.
You do think it's a crime?
It's the modern day equivalent of shoplifting for me, Phil.
Yeah.
You wouldn't burst into Woolworths, rest in peace, and steal a box set off the shelf, would you? In fact, I saw a documentary about it once on my Cody box. I was not impressed. Dreadful, dreadful stuff. Sound quality was rubbish. The picture was all blurry. Awful. Are you seen When Saturday Comes?
No.
Sean Bean film. He's a lead in it.
Sean Bean again?
Yeah, and he is brilliant. And let me tell you, there's no way I'll download that illegally because he should be seeing that money.
Yeah.
Brilliant performance.
Yeah.
Brilliant performance. Same with box sets. I'm happy to pay out for a box set. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Bought every episode ever of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Sean Bean, he's only in the first series. Waste of money.
What do you think a fitting punishment would be?
What I'd make them do a community service in Currys, and I'd make them have to explain free sat to old people.
The largest prison in the UK is HMP Oakwood in Staffordshire, with more than 2,000 inmates in each cell. HMP stands for Her Majesty's Prison. However, this is a purely honorary title, as the Queen has not served a custodial sentence at the time of recording.
So, a phrase we often hear is, crime doesn't pay. What do you think that means? Do you agree?
I think what it essentially means, Phil, is that, yes, crime, you might make money in the short term,
yeah,
but in the long term, you're going to be worse off financially.
Okay.
It's like, I'm a big believer in karma, Phil. Mm-hmm. I remember once I gave £2 to a homeless man. Mm-hmm. A couple of days later I found a purse in the street full of £20 notes, lady's purse. And I kept that, because that's karma paying me back, isn't it, for the good work I'd done previously.
So you didn't hand it in?
No, because that's not how karma works. People, I did a good deed and then in return I was thanked by the universe.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's exactly how it works. Our conduit to the world of law, at street level if you like, is the bobby on the beat, the uniformed police officer. How do you feel when you see a police officer out in public?
I feel a mixture of things, really. I feel reassured.
Yeah.
I feel a strange guilt, even though 7 times out of 10 I've probably not done anything wrong. I feel protected. I feel hopeful that I'll soon see a Red Indian, a builder and a cowboy. Unless, of course, an undercover policeman. Then I just don't feel anything towards them. Just complete apathy, as I would any other member of the public. But I actually like to work on the assumption that everyone's an undercover policeman or woman until they prove themselves otherwise.
What about prisons then? So prisons are where you'll find your highest concentration of criminals, one would assume. Overcrowding though, that's a problem. Too many prisoners. How would you solve that problem?
It is a big problem. What I'd do, this is just an idea, I'd open all the prison doors and I'd say the first 100 prisoners out, they get to go free. And I'd televise that. That'd be massive in Japan. And I'd tell you I'd have hosting it as well.
Go on.
Sean Bean.
Really?
Brilliant. Very versatile. He's not just an actor, Phil.
Yeah.
He's an all-rounder.
Okay.
He should be doing game shows.
Yeah, if we leave Sean Bean...
That's the crime.
If we leave Sean Bean to one side...
He has been left aside, that's the problem.
Do you see prison as more of a punishment or an opportunity for rehabilitation? So some prisoners, they study for a degree while they're serving their time, and in theory that's a good thing because they're becoming useful member of society, but also it's on taxpayers' money, so there's good and bad sides to that. What's your thoughts?
Lack of education is kind of imprisonment of the mind, isn't it? Apart from you can still obviously go where you want, whenever you want, and you've not got to wear the uniform. It's nothing like being in prison really, but I don't agree with people being able to do degrees in prison. You commit a crime and you get to do a degree, whereas if you're on a degree at university and you get caught doing something with a sheep you maybe shouldn't have been doing, you have to get kicked out and change your name and move. It just doesn't seem fair to me.
Just an example of that.
That's just off the top of my head. And if you do a degree in there, you should be made to do one of the shit ones that you'll never use, like science.
So let me ask you this then. Do you believe in the death penalty?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that goes on. I mean, I've seen films about it, I've seen documentaries about it.
Yeah, I don't so much mean do you believe that it exists, more are you in favour of it?
I think it was Martin Luther King that said an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth and the whole world would be blind and need a dentist. Yes, I do. 100%. I think if you take a life, you should have your life taken. And if you take 2 lives, then 2 lives should be taken as punishment. Yours plus one other person at random. Just like a jury service, just off a database.
Right. But possibly that would be quite unfair though, as this person's not done anything.
It's a tough world, Phil. It's a tough world we live in. Rough justice.
Josh, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. I've got to go, Phil. I'm parked in double yellow, so I can't stay. But thanks very much.
So we'll wrap up, and do join us next time. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Josh and Phil's Knowledge Club. Transport was by Terence Merchant. The second unit director was Leslie Baker. Moisturiser was by Nivea. And the programme was produced by Quincy Jones.